barely.
It's just amazing. So now they're down 3-2. That's it. They're gonna probably wrap it up in Toronto. Amazing, huh?
I think it was very hard to play 3 games back to back after you fly from Toronto. It never was like this. There used to be a day off. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't remember the World Series like
Yeah,
that.
but the same applies to both teams.
No, because they had a break a day.
Who had a break?
Toronto, they played 2 games in Toronto. Then there was a Sunday was off.
Yeah, you mean because they flew here on Sunday? What? No. The timing is applied to both.
It's not true. They get the better because they had a better record. So they start there that's always better. 2, 3, 2.
Oh, you mean that in that sense? Yeah, in that sense, he's right.
Yeah.
I thought the Dodgers had the best record. No?
Toronto was better.
Huh.
Dodgers didn't have they just came on in the last month.
Right.
December. They were like 25-4 in the last 30 games.
Correct.
The rest of the season, they weren't very good.
Very surprising. Very surprising.
Well, I can tell you something else. In 2018, they played the Boston Red Sox. The 3rd game was an 18-inning game.
Oh, yeah?
Story, and Max Muncy hit the home run to win it.
Mm.
They went ahead and lost the series. Sometimes you put so much emotion out in that one game that it depletes you for the rest of the series. That's what happened to the Dodgers.
It was amazing. The first at bat, they hit a home run. Next first at bat goes another home run.
And he's their best pitcher.
Yeah, it just demoralizes the rest of the team. That's it. Okay, whatever. No celebration. Listen, I'm happy for Toronto. I don't think they've won. Did they ever win a World Series?
Of course they did. 1992, 1993. They actually won 2s in a row, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. We are on Membo.
No, my brother is going to nudge me now. He's going to needle me all the time.
Right.
We are Memvav
46. Right. We said Chutz Adam is excluded from the din of Me'ilah.
Abe is smiling.
I'm smiling either way.
Abe is smiling because of Toronto? Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not over yet.
No, until the fat lady sings, it's not.
It's
Exactly.
not over the fellow things.
Exactly. I mean, the Dodgers are going to be the underdogs, but they could do it. Okay.
It's happened before.
Well, what are you talking about? In 1965, the Dodgers played the Minnesota Twins. This is like the first personal memory I had of a World Series. And the Sandy Koufax, so they were down 3-2, and they won the next 2 games, and Sandy Koufax pitched the 7th game and won it.
Wow.
Okay. By the way, I used to go, my friend was Michael Dolgan. Rabbi Dolgan was the rabbi of Beth Jacob in Beverly Hills. He was in my class. We were best friends. We used to go to the baseball game by bus for like 25 cents. We would take the bus on La Cienega, take it up to Sunset or to Hollywood, and then we would take a transfer. A transfer cost 10 cents, and we would take the bus all the way to Dodger Stadium from Sunset. And we would pay 75 cents. And we didn't sit in the bleachers, we sat up high. The highest, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go for 75 cents. We go to the Dodger game.
So what's that 75 cents equivalent today?
$25?
Oh, so maybe a little higher.
Higher. And by the way, Rabbi Dolgan, for my bar mitzvah present, gave me a beautiful pair of binoculars in a leather case. Because I went with Rabbi Dolgan too once. He grew up in Chicago. I think he was a Chicago Cub fan because he went to Skokie Yeshiva. And because I think he took me and Michael a couple of times to the game. I remember he gave me a pair of binoculars to watch, that when you're especially where we sat.
Yeah, you needed them.
We needed them, right?
All right.
Okay.
Yalla.
Chutz min adam. So if you eat dam in a state of tumah, normally if you're in a state of tumah, you've touched tumas mace, and you eat kachim, we say you get kores. But we've already excluded certain things from that din. Also, if blood is left over from a korban and it's noiser. So normally if you eat a kazayas of meat of a korban that's left over, you get kores. But if you eat the dam, there's no kores for noiser. The Gemara wants to know, Menah and Emili, how do you know this? Amar ul Amar Kra. Va'ani nosati lachem ala mizbeach lechaper. The dam I've given to you to be placed on the mizbeach to atone. Lachem means shalachem yeh. Now, what is me'ila? Me'ila is when you benefit personally from something that belongs to Hegdish. So the Gemara says this pasuk lachem says it belongs to you. There's no din me'ila. The Bei Rabbi Shmuel Tana Amar Kra lechaper, right? Ani nasati lachem al mizbeach lechaper. Lechapar nasati v'lo me'ila. Atonement it gives you, but not me'ila. Third approach. Rav Yochanan Amar Kra ki adamu banefesh yichaper. Who? It means it remains like it is. Who lifnei kapara kilachar kapara. The blood before Zrika Saddam will be like after. Ma'achar kapara. After kapara ein bo me'ila. Once you completed the mitzvah with the item, it nasa mitzvosav, and there's no meal anymore. After the kapara ein bo me'ila. For the Gemara, you could learn the opposite. Ein mala'achar kapara kilifnei kapara. There is meila bifnei kapara. Ma lifnei kapara before Zrika Saddam yesh bo me'ila. Af la'achar kapara yesh bo me'ila. Why don't you learn like that? And for the Gemara, ein lecha davar shenasis mitzvaso umoyalin boy. There's no example of something where you did the mitzvah and you're still me'ila. Frek the more v'lo, hare trumas adeshen. Trumas adeshen is the leftover ashes from all the korbanos that burnt the previous day and the previous night. So you had ashes left on the grill. So the first avoda in the morning of the Kohen was he would take a pail, he would take some of that ash, and you have to put it in a certain place next to the Mizbeach, and yet it remains Asr Banah. You have me'il if you use it. Yet you did the mitzvah. And for the Gemara, Mishum Davi Trumat Sadeshan Ubig De Kuna Shnei Ksuvim Bom Ke'echad. We have two halachas. So normally in Shas, if you have one mitzvah, you could learn that mitzvah to other mitzvahs through a binyanav. Ma'ametzinu, just like you find over here, it's like this. So like all other mitzvahs, unless you have a logical reason through svara to say it doesn't work. However, one of the Yud Gimel Midos that we read every day in Rabbi Shmuel Omer before Mizmor Shir Chanukah Sabayis David, it says Kavachoymer, Binyanav, all the various methods. It also says Shnei Ksuva Bam Ke'echad Ein Melamdim. So the Gemara points out, Walter War Memvav 46, maybe 10 lines from the top, that Trumas Hadeshen and the big day kahuna of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippurim are examples of things that a mitzvah was done, but even after the mitzvah was done, you can't use it anymore. And when you have two halachas teaching you the same thing, it's ein melamdim to other halachas. Hanich lamanda omar. Fine. According to the opinion that says uforshat es bigdei abad, Asher lavash b'va'ola kodesh b'hinicham sham, that the white clothing that the Kohen Gadol used on the Kohen Gadol, he has to hide them away. Melamed sheta'unin gniza. You can't use it anymore. And if you use it, you're chayv milah. However, Rab Doisa Shomer Mutaris and Kohen Edyoid, Rab Doisa argues with the drasha v'hinicham sham. A Kohen Edyoid can wear them as well. And the hinicham sham means v'vat shlo yishtamish ben liyom kippur macher. It's just a Kohen Gadol cannot use it for next year's Yom Kippur. But there is no concept of absence of me'ilah from the big day kuna, so you have no shnei ksum again. And therefore the Gemara is asking, there's no Trumas Hadeshen is me'ilah, so how come it could be learned that there's still me'ilah by dam? Michael Meimar. And for the Gemara, Mishum Davi Trumas Hadeshen ve'egla rufa. Egla rufa is the decapitated calf, that if a dead body is found between two cities, you measure, and the closest city the Chachamim have to come out of the city, they go to the nearest river, and they decapitate an egel. There's a whole process of kapara. And Trumas Hadesh v'egla rufa shnei ksuv abam ke'echad, v'chol shnei ksuv abam ke'echad ein melamdim. And l'chura, egla rufa is another example of something that you've completed the mitzvah and you can't benefit. Fine. That's good according to the opinion that says Shnei Ksuvim Abam Kechadim Melamdim. El Mandomer Melamdim Michael Meimar. Now there is a Manda Omar that says even if you have Shnei Ksuvim, you can learn it to other things. So maybe Dam, even also mitzvah, maybe it's Chayv Mila. So the Gemara says Trei Mi'utik Sivi. There's two miuts by these dinim. By egla rufa hacha ksiv ha-egla ha-arufa. With the hay. It's only in this case. V'hasam ksiv by Trumas Hadeshen visamo. Only it do you put away, but nothing else. Okay. That's Rav Yochanan Shita. Utlosa cry bedam. 3 psukim that we made a diuk that there's no me'ilah lamali. 1 lamutim me'ilah. 1 is to say that there's no me'ilah by dam. And another one is minoiser, that there's no din noiser if you eat dam, no chorus. And mituma, there's no din if you're contaminated with tuma, you don't get chorus if you eat dam. Aval pigul lo tzarich kra. To exclude dam from pigul, we don't need this nan. We have a category called sheyesh lo matirin. If an item, in order to be used, needs a matir, bein lo adam bein lemizbech chayav lo mishum pigul. The dam gufei matir. Dam itself is the matir. So there's no pigul because of that rule. On Rav Yochanan, shloisha krisus b'shlomim lam. It says that if you are tameh betumas aguf and you eat it, you get kares. It says emor leihem l'doroi secha v'nefesh shetocha basar nefesh ki siga b'chol tumas adam. What do I need all these 3 psukim for? Achas liklal. The general klal of regular kodshim. Achas liprat, which is just the shlomim. And so, there is a din, if you have a klalu prat, it teaches me on the other kodshim is beyach, which was in the klal, it teaches you the whole klal on all the other korbanos. V'achas dvarim she'en nicholim. The third pasuk is to tell you that if you eat something that normally is not eaten, like eitzim and levona, you get kares. You don't get kares. No, lerabois, I'm sorry, this is lerabois, even dvarm that are not eaten. If you ate it, betumas aguf, you're chayiv. like the Rabbanan of the Mishnah. Now, Rav Shimon D'Omar, he argues, there is no chorus if you're tum and you eat these things that are not eaten. What's the third pasuk coming? Lasui mai. Lasui chatos hapnimius. That the chatos, that the blood is only applied on the mizbech inside. You also get chorus if you eat them b'tom mesaguf. Sakit that chayman tzad hoyel v'am Rav Shimon kol. If the blood is not applied on the external mizbeach like a shlamim, ein chayav mishum pigul, and I would think mishum tumanami lo lachayev, I would have a havamina to say you're not chayev kores if you're tum and you eat these things. Kamash blood that you're chayev for the inner chatos. Numi Rab Shimon mechayev es darko lechol. Rab Shimon says that if you're tummy betumas aguf, you get kores if you eat kochim that are normally eaten. But wood and lavona and ktoiris, which are not normally consumed by human being, you do not get kores. But the chachamim say you're chayiv kores no matter what. And then there's a machlokes amiron. Itmar Rav Yochanan Reish Lakish. And also Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Chanina. Chad me'hai zuzah v'chad me'hai zuzah, one from each pair. Chad amar machlokes. When did the Chacham argue with Rabbi Shimon betumas basar? When the item is tummy. So Chachamim in this scenario says if you eat wood or lavona that became tummy, you get malchus. And we had a pasuk v'habasar sheyiga b'chol tamei lo yochal v'habasar aval betumas aguf. But if the human being was tummy, divrei hakol ein aloka, and you ate something that normally is not eaten, everybody will hold you don't get malchus. But the Chad Omar, the other pair, the other person in the pair, kimachlokas bezu, just like Reb Shimon and the Chacham argue, when the food item is tamei, kach machlokas bezu. The same thing is a machlokas if the person is chayiv kores when he's got tumas aguf. My timer. Even the Karina Bay, when something that is not eaten, like levoina or ktoris, what pasuk did we use to teach me this? From that pasuk, we are marbe even those things that are not eaten. Karina Bay v'tumasa olav v'nichvasa. So the end of that pasuk it says, if his tumah is on him and he eats it, he's chayv kares. And that pasuk is dealing with the body being tummy, not the food being tummy. Now, the way we just explained the machlokes was Rav Yomi Masniachi. That's how we learned. But Rav Kahana Masniachi, Rav Kahana learned this differently. Chad me'ayzuzah v'chad me'ayzuzah seifa. That it's on the seifa where they were discussing Rab Shimon. Chadar machlokes, when does Rab Shimon argue with the Chachamim? And he says that you're not chayiv if you eat wood or lavona. If you're tamei, that's betumas aguf. Aval betumas basar. But if the eitzim or the lavona themselves were tamei and you ate it, divra kol loike, then everybody agrees you get malchus. V'chadabar kamachlokas bezu kach machlokes. Machlokes in both cases. And Rab Shimon patters even in the case where the basar was tamei as well. How do we paskin? Omer Rav Mistaver Commander Omar Kimachlokas bezu kach machlokas bezu. That Rav Shimon patters from malchus in any case. My timer. Kivan de lo Karinim Bay b'tumasolav v'nechrusa. Rav Shimon doesn't learn that pasuk that it's referring to things that are not eaten. So lo Karinim Bay v'abasar she'ga b'chol tamei lo yachel. So he doesn't get malchus for that. It's extra l'Rabbi Seitzim Levona. That's what the Gemara said. And that's mashma even if they were makabel tumah. So the Gemara says it's not enough to give you malchus. It's lepois lebalma. Yet the tumah parcels it from being able to be used in the Beis Hamikdash, but to get malchus for eating it, you don't get. Okay. Mishnah. When a person comes to offer a korban, l'shem shisha dvorim, hazevach nisba. He has to have 6 kavanas, l'shem zevach. It has to be for that. If it's a shlomim, it has to be for a shlomim. L'shem zoveach. It has to be for the person who's bringing it. L'shem Hashem. It has to be that he's being makrav to Hashem. L'shem ishim. You have to have in mind that it's going to be burnt on the mizbeach. L'shem reach, for good smell. L'shem nichoyach. Nichoyach is like nachas for Hashem. V'achates v'osham l'shem chet. When you're bringing a chatas or an osham, you have to know what chet you did. Did you eat dam? Did you eat chaylev? Let's say a person didn't have any of these kavanas. He just was makar without kavana, kosher. Shehu t'nai bezdin. Bezdin makes a t'nai for everybody's korban. In order, otherwise, people will damage other people's korbanos by various machshavas. We don't want it's totally invested. Arin Amarav. It says, Olah Isherech Lichoch Lashem. Teaching us Olah Lashem Olah, Lafuk Lashem Shlomim. If you're bringing an Olah, you have to have in mind that it's an Olah, not a Shlomim. The low. Ishim, because it says Isher Reach, is Lashem Ishim. So that the fire will consume the oil. Lafuki kebava, like just grilling it. The low. Reach l'shem reach, lafuki evorim. Shetsolon vehela. To exclude a case where you like roasted the limbs and then you put them on the mizbeach. So you shouldn't do that. The low. If you have limbs that you roasted before you put them on mizbeach, it does not have reach. Nichuach l'shem anachas ruach. It should be that Hashem should be makabel it. L'Hashem l'shem mi she'omer v'haya olam. Meaning to the person who created the world, the person who said, and the world was created. That's the first mission of our Masechta. That if you shech the chatas shelo lishma, it's possible. And here comes an interesting halacha. Instead, when you took the chatas, instead of shechting it l'shem oila, you shechted it l'shem chulin, then ksheira. You can eat the animal. You won't get credit. You still have to bring another chatas, right? It's ksheira, but ain't a ratzah. As the Gemara will say later on. Now, why l'shem chulin is it okay? On my time of Rav, it says v'lo yichalalu es kodshei bnei Yisrael. Kodshim mechalim kodshim, vein chulin mechalim kodshim. Meaning, having an improper, a different type of korban, like you're thinking about an ola when you should be thinking about a shlomim. That will be mechalim. But thinking about chulin, it's like apples and oranges. So it doesn't affect the machshava of the first korban, at least to ruin it. So Mosif Rabbo, Rav Yossi, Af mi shelo haya b'libo l'shem echad mikolelu. Right? Rav Yossi said in our Mishnah, if you didn't have any of these kavanas kosher, shoot night bezin already makes it tonight. Taima Shlai belibo klal. He didn't have any machshava. Ha, hai belibo l'shem chulin pasul, which is against to what Rav Yudah Marav just said. Amalei Abaya Dilma loya klal kosher. He didn't have any machshav at all. Then it's kosher. Dilma loya klal kosher umeratze. Means if he had no kavana, he didn't have a conflicting kavana, you can eat the animal and it works. But hayabli Shem chulin kosher, but ain't a maratza. But that korban will not be accepted. It's a deficient korban, and that's what Rab was referring to that as well. Like Rab. If he said l'shem chulin, it's okay, but he did it mishum chulin. If he thought that this animal was a behemoth chulin, psula, because he did a regular meiser shchita, not in a way of serving Hashem. And the boy minei shmuel Ravuna, like the following theoretical question, which we'll learn tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow we will learn at 7. There's no World Series tomorrow, correct?
No, tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll learn at 7.
Saturday and Sunday.
7, and then Friday we'll learn like at 4, like we've been doing. Shabbos we're going to learn at 8 o'clock, like we've been doing. That's the schedule so far.
Okay.
Okay.
Shkoyach.
Okay. Shkoyach.
Okay.
Thank you.
Night, Abe.